Welcome to Fuel Her Awesome, the nutrition pep talk to supercharge your week. I'm Jess, registered dietitian and empowered eating coach, here to help you take your health to that next level. In these bite-sized episodes, we cut right through the noise and blend science with biofeedback and values, all while teaching you how to trust your intricately and beautifully designed body. Because here's the deal, you are awesome, and life is an invitation to show up that way. But you can't do it without food. So let's lean in as we explore how to fuel your awesome with empowered eating. Hello, friend. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to talk about burnout today. And I don't take this topic lightly because I've been there several times and it's a really difficult place to be. And so my hope today is that you walk away with not just a sense of empowerment and autonomy over your life, but a refreshed perspective and some hope that if you're in a season of burnout, I want you to know it is a season, and two, there's hope. There's a light that is probably closer than you realize. And I know you might be thinking like, what does this have to do with food and empowered eating? Actually, a lot of people that come to see me come to me in the middle of burnout. It's part of why it has become so difficult for them to hit their goals, is because they're burnt out. They don't really have the capacity. And at the same time, their body is screaming for a reset. So we're going to break down all of the above today. If you have been through a season of burnout or you're currently in one, I think you can relate to this, that if one more person tells you to meditate, you're going to lose your mind. Because here's the truth, burnout, it isn't for lack of candles or quiet time. It's really about disconnect from our body, from our energy, most of all from our values. And I'll never forget when I was at a point of extreme stress and stretch in my life and really going through that burnout and fatigue. I had a 20-something male trainer come up to me. It was at my morning workout, and he could tell I was stressed and frazzled. I mean, you know those seasons, you can feel it. I mean, your energy is just tense. So he came up to me and he was asking me, how I was doing, and I was talking so fast and answering questions he wasn't even asking because I was just in that state of frenetic and frantic energy. And I'll never forget it. He said, Jess, you need to just find 15 minutes. Find 15 minutes. Anyone can find 15 minutes and meditate just to slow your brain down. I wanted to smack him because I honestly couldn't find 15 minutes in my day. And whether he was right or I was right, it doesn't matter, because my feeling in that time was that I didn't have 15 minutes. My babies were young. They were often crawling into bed with me. I was working 2 jobs. My husband was on call. It was a season that really stretched me. And so if you're in a season like this or coming out of one, I am so glad you're here, because we are going to be taking the empowered eating pep talk today up just a notch for all of those who have been through or are currently experiencing burnout, because I really feel for you. I've been there. It's not for the weak of heart. Also, you're not alone. Listen to these stats. 44% of US women report feeling burned out at work compared to 36% of men. I wonder how much of that has to do with the fact that we are proven multitaskers, or we think we are good at multitasking. So we're not doing one thing. We're usually doing 5 at the same time. In healthcare, 51% of women physicians reported burnout in 2020, rising to 56% in 2021, compared to 36% and 41% of men, respectively. So in the healthcare field, we knew that was a huge thing happening around 2020 timeframe, but women were experiencing it more than men. Women account for 71% of all mental health related leaves of absences in early 2024, and that was a 22% increase from the previous year, from 2023. 71%. I mean, that's telling me that there is more going on in our brains than there are those of our male counterparts. A recent UK survey found that 9 out of 10 women experience mental health issues due to poor work-life balance, with at least 43% reporting stress, anxiety, and burnout. So, sister, if you're in that category, you are not alone. So in true empowered eating form, we are going to break down this topic through the lens of our values compass, through a biofeedback boss tip, and then of course dive into some nerdy nutrition nuggets. But we're going to start today in the biofeedback world instead of our value compass, because this is actually where we can connect burnout to our body. I believe we as women are trained to look at our body as something to control, something to morph, something to modify. And if we can just set that down for a second and listen to our body is always talking to us. And sometimes it is whispering, maybe not whispering, but screaming, I am burnt out and I need some attention. And this, starting in the biofeedback realm, this is my invitation to you to listen to your body, and not just listen, but give your body the same love and affection you would give to your child, to your niece, to your nephew, to your best friend, to your mom, to your dad. If your favorite person in the world came to you and said, these are the things happening with my body, what would you tell them? Okay, so here are some signs, or the top signs of burnout from our body. Number one is waking up tired even after sleeping. If you sleep and there's not a restoration that's happening, that is likely associated with your nervous system being on overdrive and not ever being able to finally release and relax into that rest and digest parasympathetic state. If you feel like you have afternoon crashes or you are relying on caffeine to function. Y'all know I am a coffee girl. I drink lots of coffee throughout the day, but it's different now than when I was in a season of burnout. When I was in a season of burnout, it was my lifeline, and I was trying to get that caffeine high, more caffeine into my body so that I could just get through the day. Whereas now it's really like an adult pacifier. I'm like, just give me something warm to hold. Sometimes I'll swap it out with hot water just to slow the caffeine. But I think the idea that we rely on caffeine to get us through the day, like that is a sign that you do not have the energy to keep up with the life that has been created around you. Irritability or emotional numbness, even though this isn't a physical sensation, this is a mental capacity, and I think it's something worth noting. Constant cravings, especially for sugar or salt. This is the one that shows up the most in my world. When someone comes to me and they say, Jess, I am always craving fill in the blank. That is a major red flag that there is something bigger going on, because there's no science that says like, hey, if you're craving sugar, your body needs more iron. Like, it doesn't work like that. It actually runs a little bit deeper. And we're going to get into this more down the road. But my theory on that is that if you have a constant craving for something like salt or sugar, and there's not a nutritional deficiency, meaning like you are eating regularly, it's a craving for a hug. Like you're looking for something to add fun and adventure to your life. So I think this can be a great window into looking at, am I in a state of burnout that might need some love and TLC? Another one would be feeling like rest isn't productive. These aren't personality flaws. This is actually a signal. If you're someone that does not value rest or feels like you don't have like the, what's the word I'm looking for? The permission to rest, because you have so much to do, you have so much productivity that needs to happen in a day. This is another sign that there might be some invitations in your life to slow down. And then last, but definitely not least, the one that's most personally intertwined with my story is if you are able to sleep. Now, I know I mentioned like waking up rested, but it's also like, are you able to just fall asleep? Insomnia is something I have always battled and struggled with, and sleep disturbances. And I think to some degree, some of that is just the season of life with kids and learning to train my body to not react to every noise I hear in the house. So there's definitely that layer. And at the same time, my inability to turn my brain off and fall into a deep sleep, it was almost my inability to surrender. Like I always felt like I had to be on go mode and drive and performance and productivity happening. I think this is a really strong indicator when our body doesn't have the capacity to rest both mentally and physically. It is our body screaming for a reset. Okay, so those are going to be some of the signs. Oh, and of course, I didn't mention this, but this one is huge. Your bowels and your gut health. Stress is the number one agitator of your microbial lining. And so I know that sounds like something we hear all the time, like, yeah, stress causes everything, but it's true. It's very real. If you are in a state of high anxiety, high stress, your little microvilli, call them your nutrition fingers, in your intestines are not absorbing nutrition to the same degree if they were relaxed and ready to receive nutrition. Okay, if your body is trying to get your attention, now what do we do? This is where we're going to pull in that values compass. Burnout is often your body saying like, hey, it's time to reevaluate. And quite honestly, this conversation goes far beyond this little 15, 20-minute empowered eating pep talk. So today, what I want to do is just give you a few invitations. And then my hope is if this is striking a chord, you go find a trusted friend and talk to them. Give your story space to start exploring, because one of the coolest parts about empowered eating and this work that I get to do is that this conversation so often includes one that leads to empowered living. Just recently, actually, I had a client that I worked with last year, and through our conversations and our work together, she came to me for weight loss, but through it all, she ended up quitting her job by the time we had finished working together because she realized she was not living in alignment with her values. So we parted ways and she went on her new adventure, and I just heard from her. It's been a year and her story was so powerful. It's not mine to tell, but all this to say that the empowered eating discussion and just like looking at what is important to me and really defining that and getting really clear on it, you better believe that's not going to stop in what you put on your plate. Like that's going to color everything you do. When you get really clear and laser focused, like I value my family, my faith, and fun and impact. Those are my values. Things really start to change. The coolest part is that food then becomes a platform, not a focal point. It becomes a tool, not a requirement, and it completely changes the game. So in this realm of burnout, the first step would be, what do you value? What is most important to you in your life? And giving yourself space to really get clear on that is so crucial. This is a practice I do at least every year now. I used to do it every so often, but I quickly realized that my values actually change as I age and as my family moves into different seasons. And it's something that I think everybody would benefit from doing every year, sitting down, getting really clear on what you value. If you're inside one of my programs, this is a key component of what we do. We do value-based work. And if you're in there, go back into it, revisit it. If you're not, let's hang out, because this will be the most life-giving conversation you have. And I've got some really cool tools that I would love to share with you. So that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to define your values. And that is literally naming the top 3 to 5 things most important to you in your life. And then talking about those with a trusted friend. This is where I want you to go find someone you really trust and make sure those values and those words are rooted in who you want to be, not who you were told you were supposed to be. Those are very, very different angles. So many times, and I've done this myself, I've had a value that I think is something I want and I strive for it. But if I really break it down, it isn't something I want. It's something I was told I was supposed to be. And the number one value that I see pop up for women is beauty, aesthetics, and control. That is something that, in my opinion, more often than not, we were trained to believe we are supposed to be, and it's not something we actively chose. So, all right, I'm going to leave that right there. That's it. Like I said, a deeper conversation. So please, please, please do yourself a favor. Take the time to do that values work. It is worth it. Okay, we're going to flip gears here and we are going to talk about some tactical tools. This is in the nerdy nutrition nugget realm. And I want to invite you to think of nutrition here as a spa day instead of just another coping tool. So often food becomes about coping, like I'm going to eat to celebrate, or I'm going to eat because I'm sad, or I'm going to eat because I want to feel comfort at the end of the day. When we are in a state of burnout, nutrition can really be something that is our spa day, our gift to our body. Some of this has to do with the mind or the brain-gut connection. When we eat, we're not just feeding our body, we're also feeding the microbes in our intestines. And those microbes are like little food interpreters that are taking the food we're eating and they're creating a byproduct. And then that byproduct is sent through the vagus nerve to our brain and develops this tune that sets the environment in our brain. So the way I think of gut health and mental health is that gut health will never fix our mental health struggles. It will never correct the lies. It will never completely rewire our brain, but it will create an environment that sets us up for success. So that tune that's emitted from your microbes that's sent through the vagus nerves, if we're feeding our body erratically or inadequate amounts of fiber, or we're not putting a lot of thought into how we care for our little microbe guys, the byproducts that they create are going to be inflammatory, creating more of a chaotic environment in our brain, which just means we don't have the resiliency that I know you could have. If we then flip that and give our body some key nutrients that are food for our microbes and like a spa day for our gut, now our gut is sending like support systems to our brain. We have more of a capacity to create serotonin, our happy hormone, so we have more ammo up there. We have a different environment. I kind of think of it like a annoying song in our head versus like a very fun and catchy and uplifting song. If you have one of those stuck in your head, like it changes your mood or your environment. Have you ever done that where you're going through the day and you're just like singing a good song? It's like then someone comes up to you and your head's bouncing. You're just in a good mood. And they could say something kind of off the cuff, but you're jamming to your own tune in your head. That is what our microbes do for our brain. So we want to give it delicious things to eat. So it's sending our brain a solid and amazing tune. Here's how we can do that. Number one, give our body fiber. 80% of Americans don't eat enough fiber. We don't eat enough fruits and veggies. This isn't fancy. This isn't sparkly, but the reality is most of us don't do it. I just talked about smoothies in a couple episodes back. This is a great way to boost your fruit and veggie intake. It's a great way to give your microbes a spa day, adding 1 or 2 smoothies into your day. Any fruits or veggies you can get into your body are great. There isn't this massive hierarchy, but each one is going to give you different benefits. The way I look at it in very simple terms, if it has a deeper, richer color, there is more nutrition in it. So, for example, blackberries, strawberries, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, black rice, like all of those things have a richer color than some of the other options out there. Doesn't mean they're better. It just means they have a more dense antioxidant and anti-inflammatory capacity. So get those deep, beautiful colors in there. It also makes a beautiful plate. I mean, have you ever put a plate together that has like salmon and asparagus and then some berries? It's just pretty. It's like an art piece. So that would be one thing we could do. Another nerdy nutrition nugget here to manage burnout would be to stabilize blood sugars. Every time your blood sugar crashes, your adrenals release cortisol to compensate. So this means like skipping breakfast, working through lunch, not having a snack. Like when we don't provide our body with that nutrition, our body is more likely to release cortisol because the purpose of cortisol is to drive us to do things. The problem is it doesn't drive us to find food. It drives us to do more work, which is amplifying the burnout. So we've got more fiber, eating more consistently. And at this point, I mean, if you're in a season of burnout, I'm really not concerned about exactly what you're eating. I'm more focused on like, let's just get food into your rhythm. There are steps in which we're going to grow in this, but the first would be, let's just add a breakfast. If it's half of what's left over from your kids, awesome. Start there. Number 3 would be maintaining hydration and electrolyte balance. Your adrenals actually need salt to function well, especially if you are chronically stressed or you live in an environment that's humid or you sweat a lot or you're someone that does drink a lot of water. Don't be afraid to salt your food. With the exception of folks who have high blood pressure, salt is an incredibly powerful electrolyte and one that fuels your metabolism, supports your adrenals, keeps your thyroid functioning. Having quality salt and staying hydrated is a great balance to supporting your body through seasons of stress and burnout. Okay, so we got 3 little nerdy nutrition nuggets for you. Number 1, fiber is a spa day for your microbes. Number 2, stable blood sugar equals less cortisol spikes. So eating often and when you can. And then number 3, adding in some salt and staying hydrated. All 3 of these are going to be ways you can support your adrenals during states of stress. And I think it's a great way to, again, look at nutrition as a spa day instead of just another coping tool. Okay, we flew through this, and this is, again, a deeper topic and one that goes far beyond just this 20-minute pep talk. But to wrap this up in a pretty bow, here's your takeaway. Number 1, if your body is screaming to you, please listen to it. Please. What would you tell a friend? Give yourself that same love and attention you would give to somebody else. Number 2, name your top values. Do yourself a favor and get clear on what really matters to you. And then spend some time with trusted people in your life discussing how you can center your life around those values in a way that's sustainable. And then number 3, try to take at least one of those nerdy nutrition nuggets and implement it into your routine so that nutrition can be a spa day instead of just another coping tool. And of course, we can add more nutritional layers as we go on, and there will be a nutrition plan that's necessary to heal your body from that season of stress. But do yourself a favor and start with some of these basics and know that that is enough, because you starting here, what it does is it sets you up to have more energy so that you can add those next layers from a place of energy instead of adding these nutritional requirements that just add to your burnout and make you feel more drained. We're not here for that. As you feel more energetic, not less. If you need any support with this, I would love to be that safe space for you to land. I am not a nutrition Nazi. I am a nutrition ninja, meaning I can help you rework nutrition to support the season you are in, whether it's a season of burnout or coming out of a season of burnout, because that's a whole nother ball game. There's some healing that has to be done there. It is not about rules here. It's about rhythms. And I am so glad you are here reworking nutrition to support the life you really want to live. You can find out more about working with me in the show notes. I will see you right here next Monday. Have a beautiful week. Cheers, my friends, and happy eating. That's a wrap on today's Empowered Eating Pep Talk. If this hits home, be sure to leave a review and share it on your social media, tagging me at JessBrownRD. And girl, if you're ready to take your nutrition and mindset to that next level, I would love to get to know you more. Head on over to JessBrownRD.com to explore things like the Well-Fueled Academy, one-on-one coaching, and all the free resources I have to help you live, eat, and fuel your awesome. Until next time, sister, have an amazing day. Cheers and happy eating.